What makes you think that I'm an answer if you ain't mine?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I was about to stop making videos for today. I was going to stop at 6 videos, but here we are with the 7th because this is breaking. And holy, the Daily Beast comes out with the article with a new update on the Eliza Bleu situation, okay? The article says Eliza Bleu's own friends aren't buying her trafficking story. Holy, I told y'all this woman was she's full of garbage. Anyway, let's see. Elon Musk's favorite anti-trafficking advocate has set off a war in the right-wing circles after Twitter banned some of her critics, and her own friends are poking holes in her story. Holy. All right. With striking lilac hair and pugnacious, I don't even know what that is, pugnacious attitude, the anti-sex trafficking activist known as Eliza Bleu has broken into some of the top tiers of right-wing media in just a few years, growing her audience through interviews with popular figures like Ben Shapiro, Tim Pool, and Dr. Drew Pinsky. But in late 2022, Bleu found an even more powerful ally, new Twitter owner Elon Musk. Bleu, who refers to herself as a survivor of human trafficking, has lent the billionaire an unusual form of credibility by insisting that pre-Musk Twitter was overrun with child spicification. Only Musk, Bleu says, has been willing to stamp out the abusive material on Twitter at scale. In another tweet, she declared the war against Elon Musk is actually a war over your mind. Musk responded with a bullseye emoji. Bleu's praise for Musk comes even as billionaire has slashed much of Twitter's staff, including huge numbers of workers responsible for content moderation. For his part, Musk has boosted Bleu's profile on the site with replies and tweets, helping her earn more than 100,000 new followers in December alone. You have a direct line to me on this issue, Musk told Bleu in a Twitter Space Live chat in December. When I stepped away from the gang, oh, this is just a quote. Okay. But now Bleu and Musk find themselves embroiled in a Twitter censorship controversy. After multiple critics of Bleu who shared embarrassing images from her past saw their accounts temporarily suspended from the site, some users suggest that Bleu's direct line to Twitter, Brass, and Musk himself may have led to the crackdown, even as the Twitter's owner insists he's in favor of free speech and wide-ranging debate. As much as I would love to defend Elon Musk in this situation, I cannot do it. I feel as though he's had multiple chances to respond to this situation and didn't for a reason. Now, I know he was in court, like, I want to say last week or something like that, so maybe that's it. I don't know. But you have to wait and see. Bleu and Twitter didn't respond to requests for comment. Amid the controversy over the suspended accounts, questions about Bleu's background have emerged. Her critics have seized on contradictory videos and interviews, and her frequent use of the different names online to suggest Bleu isn't who she claims to be. They're talking about the quartering. Now, two former friends of Bleu tell the Daily Beast that at best, Bleu is exaggerating her experiences for attention. It's making a lot of her old friends around her really angry, said Carla Wenzel, a one-time pal of Bleu who has known her for 2 decades, who added she believes Bleu is completely lying. Holy, not only did her friend come out and say this, but her friend didn't even want to be anonymous. Her friend was so bold that she said, listen, bitch, here's my name. You can put my name in the article. She's telling you to your face, Eliza, you are a liar. Okay? And since you won't reply to my emails and my phone calls telling, hey, I don't remember the situation there necessarily going like that. Are you sure you're telling the truth here? You don't want to reply? Bet I'll go to the Daily Beast about it. Let's continue. Bleu grew up in a rural area around the Illinois border with Iowa, known as the Quad Cities. She's portrayed her homeschool upbringing as an innocent one, albeit one that made her all the more naive about how the world really works. That sounds spot on. Despite her claims to the contrary, public records prove that Bleu's original name was Eliza Morthland. Born in 1981, her father is Richard Morthland, a farmer and former Illinois state representative who ran unsuccessfully on the GOP ticket for lieutenant governor in 2018. Morthland did not respond to a request for comment. In 2021, Bleu appeared to deny on Twitter that she was Eliza Morthland, but Facebook photos show her standing with other members of the Morthland family. A 2010 newspaper article about Richard Morthland shows a woman who looks just like Bleu standing next to the politician and identified as his daughter. Richard Morthland also gave a comment for a 2009 article about a band Bleu worked for under her married name Eliza Seep, whatever. And Blue's cosmetology license lists Richard Morthland's farm as her address. Wow. There's no question that Bleu has advocated for trafficking victims, especially on Twitter, but she has offered murky accounts of her own background that leave even her supporters unsure about all but the vaguest details. She can also grow hostile with reporters who ask for basic facts, like the years she was trafficked for the names of the perpetrators. For example, journalist Katie Herzog reached Bleu on the phone in December, only to have Bleu become defensive when Herzog raised even the prospect of asking Bleu about her own history. All right, interviewed on Tim Pool's podcast, Bleu said she could not offer details about her alleged abusers because of unspecified legal issues. Then she asked why it would be a problem if she was making up her story. Let's say hypothetically it is made up. What's my biggest win so far in the public? Getting Twitter to address child spicification abuse material and make it top priority. I'm not asking an abuser for money. I'm not asking people for money. But she's gotten plenty of donations. So let's cut the cap. The Daily Beast pieced together a rough outline of Blue's account of her trafficking experiences based on interviews she's given to sympathetic media outlets. Bleu has said that her trafficking spanned 2 different periods, separated by roughly a decade. In her telling, Bleu was first groomed by a prominent photographer she met at the Warped Tour concert in Chicago when she was 16. A few years later, when she was still a teenager in the late 1990s, Blue's father drove her to Los Angeles because Bleu was convinced that an unnamed high-profile musician she met through the photography would make her a star. Instead, she was spicy assaulted within 48 hours of arriving in the city, according to a 2020 podcast interview. Her traffickers quickly hooked her on a drug she knew as ice, generally recognized as slang for crystal meth, though Bleu has said she didn't know what drug it was. Bleu claimed she was then sold for $500 to a spicification trafficking ring in Hollywood Hills, where she found herself living with members of a ring that trafficked transformer women. I was sold for $500 to a very old gentleman in the hills. Bleu claims she struggled to get enough water and food because I was on drugs and other substances. But Bleu was such a handful for her traffickers and her telling that they ultimately gave her back to her original trafficker for the free. Bleu claims she was hospitalized for a drug overdose before returning to her family farm in Illinois. My family didn't even recognize me when I got off the plane. After 2 weeks on the farm, she returned to Los Angeles to receive her car. Bleu claims she was once again swept into human trafficking for an undefined period. It's odd what happens to the trauma brain. She compared it to Stockholm Syndrome. Damn, it's a long-ass article, man. Okay, listen. Yeah, this is a long-ass article. Holy. Okay, so listen. We're going to stop right there. We're going to have to do a part 2 to this video later on. But the Daily Beast exposes a lot in this. So basically what we got out of this is a little bit of her background. Her own friend accuses her of lying. We will continue this, but this video is going to go on too long. Basically, what's going on here is, I told y'all all the time, there is feminine warfare going on, where people are, remember what I told y'all, the definition of feminine warfare, it's a term that I coined. It is the use and manipulation of words and their meaning in order to paint a specific narrative about a person or an idea. In this case, she's manipulating the word of trafficking to paint herself as a victim in exchange for fame and whatever the case may be. So we're going to dive more into this later on. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later.
Beat that thing down like you started attention, my baby. You had some plans with your man, just tell him to cancel, my baby. Slide to the crib like Dracula's man.